The money transfer market is in influx right now. Operators that have dominated the market for a long time, Western Union, MoneyGram, and others, are still dominant today. But banks, for example, that have moved into a market are pulling out, and many other banks are questioning their role in the market. More recently, telcos have moved into the market with their mobile wallets. Those three players, MTOs, banks, and telcos, are getting into very interesting positions in the world. In the US, mobile wallets are not present in the market like in Africa or even in Latin America. But I do think that they will become a very large factor in the money transfer world. Now, regulation is likely to play a key role in what determines if the telcos can make it into this market, and regulation is playing itself in every country differently. I think that there is a lot of interesting things happening with telcos. For example, in Kenya, we know about M-Pesa, the mobile wallet that's been probably the most successful in the world, and what's happening now with Equity Bank, the largest bank in Kenya. I mean, they've been trying to work together, but they're fighting for a piece of the market. Equity Bank now has a telecom license to get into the market with their own mobile wallet because it feels it's being left out by telcos. That's happening in Kenya, but it's also happening in other countries in Africa. I think this is very important to watch. And it's about how the regulators decide who can hold the money. As more people are using mobile phones, they become the tool for telcos to reach the customer. But who's going to manage the funds? That's a key question. Governments are realizing that this could be the best tool for financial inclusion, mobile wallets, because it gets more people to use digital money and advances financial literacy. But regulation is going to determine who is better to handle those customers. What is better for them? That's why I mean that regulation will play a key role. In Latin America, for example, banks have more leverage with politicians, so they can also influence regulation. And they are doing everything they can not to be left out by telcos. Elsewhere in the Middle East, the UAE, that has one of the largest outflows of remittances of the world, the MTOs have dominated that market for a number of years. But now telcos are coming in, and the UAE Central Bank is bringing everybody to the table to discuss what will be the outcome or what that regulation should look. Now, in the US, the situation is different. I mean, in the US and other markets like in Europe, there's so many services available for people. So it's going to take a little bit more time for those mobile wallets and for mobile money to make an impact. Yes. Tier 1 telcos have a different strategy maybe, but some ethnic telcos are already moving into the market. They're already creating their wallets. Some of them are getting their own money transfer license, money transmitter license here in the United States. Now, these ethnic telcos have been selling airtime, pinless services to migrants, which is the same market that money transmitters have been serving. So there's a confluence there. I mean, some telcos are partnering with money transfer companies here in the United States. Some money transfer companies are selling their airtime minutes, etc. And the issue with the United States is always regulation. I mean, every state has its own license. You need to be licensed in 47, 48 states in order to provide service in all the United States. So I don't think that regulation is likely to change. It's hard to say where Bitcoin is going nowadays. I mean, we are welcoming Bitcoin companies to IMTC because I do think there's a future there. Now, of course, regulation will also affect how digital currencies are seen, but I think the technologies, the protocols are changing a number of things, and yes, they will impact the future of the money transfer industry. I agree with that. Now, I'm trying to help Bitcoin companies start dialogues with money transfer companies here in the United States and abroad, so maybe together they can incorporate some of the great ideas and software ideas and protocols that Bitcoin is bringing into the world today. Yes, we published an infographic. It was done by the Spark Group, which helped us to conceptualize, to put together the ideas that I discussed in the document that I published, the document that I used for my presentation at the IMTC World in Miami, and it just shows the friction points, which I call is the areas of the areas of collision between telcos, banks, and MTOs. Also shows some examples of some battlefields that I called. I mean, places in the world where their money transfer operators, banks, and telcos are colliding. But just a collection of some examples that I think are the most interesting. And also I mentioned some of the bridges, some of the companies that are trying to bridge the world between telcos and banks and MTOs. So I hope you read the document. It's been printed and delivered here at the IMTC, but it's also in digital form. You can access it. Maybe we can put the website address, the URL, so you can read it, and please send us your comments. I'm always welcome to hear what everybody thinks about this issue. Thank you very much.